Welcome to the Forging Honor podcast. I'm Jonathan George.
And I'm Benjamin Jones. Here at Forging Honor, we explore what it means to live as Christian men. Along the way, we'll be doing challenges, building habits and character through action.
Well, welcome back to Forging Honor, dear listener. We hope you enjoyed our After Hours episode that we released. Had a little bit of a break from our seasonal releases, but we are back with a new season of Forging Honor. New habit, new challenge. It's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to it. We hope you enjoy this ride. Banjo, welcome back. How has your break been?
It's been a good break. Appropriate for what we're going to be talking about here in a minute, but I was just thinking about this before I hopped on. I haven't done any challenges for our podcast this week, and it's thrown me off a little bit. They're not having some sort of like regular routine, like this daily thing that I got to make sure I'm doing this. I'm kind of like, wait, where is that routine in my schedule? I've actually started my own challenges off on the side on an unrelated topic, and I just started doing a challenge without thinking about it. And I think my brain was like, you're supposed to be doing this. Like you're just supposed to have one of these challenges going all the time. So
that's awesome.
It was good. How about you? How's the break been? You did a little vacay.
Did some camping. I got out with the family. Enjoyed that. We did like a little family camp thing with some friends. I won the fire building competition. Was pretty stoked about that.
Very good.
Lost the rock throwing competition by a long shot. So, I mean, if
It's
you look
just
at me,
rocks.
you're not going to be very surprised.
But you will be warm. You might not. Well, I guess I see what you're saying. You won't be surprised.
I built the fire building, but I won the fire building. I did not win the rock throwing.
Right. So not so much on the defense, but more on like the home.
Yeah.
Making it nice, warm, and cozy.
Exactly.
Smoking meats.
So enjoyed some time off with the family. But now, yes, we're back at it. But as you said, the new challenge relates to breaks, rests, sabbaticals, because this new challenge is focused on the category of rest. So you wonder, okay, how do we build a habit of rest? How do we build a habit of taking a break? And we threw around some ideas, some things like, maybe we, take a 20-minute nap every day. I don't think that's feasible for everybody. That's something I would love to be able to do, but we don't have time for that around here. And Banjo had some wonderful insights into, what does the habit of rest really look like? Would you tell us more about that, Banjo?
Well, wonderful insights might be selling it a bit high, but I was thinking, to take kind of a wide angle lens on it. I don't know if you remember this chapel talk back at Covenant College, JJ, but Kelly Kapic, one of the professors there, gave a talk. I think it was actually on a day that I was visiting campus as a senior in high school. So you would have been,
you stayed with me. You stayed with me. That
it was
weekend. I remember we've talked about when we met on the show. I think actually, that particular weekekend. It's amazing that one little weekend, very pivotal, very pivotal point in our lives. Yeah.
The biographers will state. No, but anyway, there was a chapel talk that Kelly Kapic gave that day, where he talked about you are finite, and why is that a good thing that you're finite? Why is that a good thing that you're limited in your scope, that you're not omnipotent, omniscient, and all those things? And it had a really big impact on me, in part because it allowed me to take a lot of pressure off myself and to begin to rest. And I think also one of the things he talked about there was the importance of prayer, the importance of putting your focus in the right place. To have your eyes on an omnipotent God. Try and say that 3 times fast, and to be rightly oriented in prayer. Right, that's a really restful thing. And he talked about the importance of Sabbath and to be resting and. To be trusting in God to provide for you on those days and on those moments where you are taking a rest. So I thought that was pretty profound. And so I thought maybe a challenge for us to be working through is, what's our prayer life like? Are we resting well in our prayer? Is prayer a place where we're dependent on God and we're showing that, we're demonstrating that? Our pastor recently talked about our faith is our abandoning ourselves on Christ. does our prayer life reflect that? Do we have that level of kind of faith and rest and trust? I was also thinking about, these kind of the Puritans and, these fathers of the faith who are doing these, 5-hour, 3-hour, all day prayer sessions, which I thought was kind of unbelievable. I don't know. I don't have any concept of how to pray for that long. But I thought maybe if we just started small, we could start working our way up to understanding that kind of rest and that kind of faith. So I don't know, JJ, do you remember that talk at all? Do you remember?
I do. Yeah. I remember that talk had a big impact on me, and especially at the time, and I was trying to physically take on too much with my schedule. So that talk was very impactful. And what you're saying about rest, we're not talking about rest in the pure, simply trying to get some sleep, as much as we need that. But really, what does a spiritual rest look like? What does it mean to rest on the Lord, as we're called to do? So yeah, we're going to be digging into our prayer lives, and I think one aspect of this is going to be praying not just through the regular prayers that we would have, as much as we should be doing that, but setting aside some specific time to really learn how to rest in the Lord. Praying through and thinking through things like the Sabbath, praying through and thinking through things like your regular rhythms, the routine of your week. How does that reflect your faith? And we don't have the answers to that, but through prayer, I think we can learn a lot. So ultimately, this challenge, pretty simple, just 10 minutes every day, sit in prayer. Maybe that prayer looks more like silence. Maybe it looks like whatever Christian meditation is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this season. What is Christian meditation? Not the Eastern form of emptying your mind, but rather filling your mind with God's word, sitting before the Lord and learning to rest in Him. Anything else to add to that, Banjo?
I think I would just suggest kind of looking through the prayer lives of other believers, those who've kind of gone before. I was recently reading in a class that I was teaching, reading some of Flannery O'Connor's a prayer journal, little snippet from her prayer journal. That was pretty powerful and I think pretty meaningful. Certainly was to me. I hope for the kids as well. So check out folks like that, folks who have written a prayer journal. Maybe write one of your own. Try that as an exercise, or take one of the books that have been compiled as a useful tool for prayer. Maybe the Valley of Vision, or maybe the Book of Common Prayer if you're feeling adventurous. Whatever is going to be of use to you in that, I think is probably worth checking out. JJ, you've used the Valley of Vision some, right?
Yes. Valley of Vision used the Book of Common Prayer a little bit as well. And then there's a few other resources that are similar to that. And I'll bring them on for next episode and talk through some of those. But there's a ton of those resources out there, all kinds of guided meditations, prayer journals, etc., that can be very helpful. I would encourage folks, as you go through those, to recognize that those prayers have been written, they've been worked through, right? They're not the how your prayer in day to day is necessarily going to look like, right? You're not going to start speaking in perfect poetry every time you pray. So I personally prefer to look at those more as a way to kind of focus a particular idea, because those prayers will often focus on a particular thing. Whether it's a confession of sin or a glory in what Christ has done for us, or a praise for something that's happened in your life, whatever it is, they'll have a particular focus, and they'll be very good at kind of focusing your mind on that one thing. And that's what I like to use them for, and a way to kind of establish that thought, and then as a launching pad into my own prayer life. I don't know if that's how you've used them before, Banjo, but that's my preferred method.
I like that a lot. Definitely not the way that I've thought of them before, but definitely a very useful way to use them. I've more read them and tried to kind of, especially with Valley of Vision, that's been one that I've used quite a bit. For me, it's a lot of reading through those prayers and kind of like trying to understand what's motivating some of the phrases in there that surprised me. What's motivating where are the ideas coming from that are generating that prayer, and then trying to kind of adopt some of those ideas. But I really like what you're saying about, use that as almost like an anchor point, and then go stretch out from there. I think that's a very useful tool.
Well, the Valley of Vision at the front, the little index of prayers that it has there, they're all categorized. And there's different prayers for different occasions in your life, different events that happen. And then of course there's the weekly section at the back. So you can, just go straight back there, and they've got daily prayers for throughout the week, to help you through each day. So yeah, some excellent resources to start with. And then of course, there's probably millions of articles and online options and YouTubes and whatever you want. But at its core, this is a focus on rest. So let's not forget that this is not simply a focus on prayer. It's a focus on resting in the Lord. So the prayers they might look a little different than your regular day to day. So I would encourage you to explore that.
Yeah. And also I think it would be counterproductive if somehow this challenge about rest became a stressful task. That would be kind of ridiculous. So our aim here is is to say, find a way to let go a little bit, find a way to rely on God, and that's probably going to be pretty scary at first, but the hope here is to push the comfort zone a little bit, and to take those 5-10 minutes where you're saying, okay, I'm not in charge of the universe. If I'm just praying for 10 minutes, the universe is not going to fall apart. And we're just going to see how much does that restructure our thinking, how much does that restructure our way of life. So hopefully a restful, peaceful challenge.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I'm excited too, because this is our last season of this year. And it's kind of a nice bookend. We started the year with our season on Bible reading, and now here we are, new season, and it's on rest, and we're implementing prayer into that. So a good way, I think, to start and end the year. Especially
good way to start and end your day.
Yeah. There you go. Banjo on top of it with the keeping up with that.
Think ahead. Thematic.
And, we're going into Advent, which can be, physically, it's a darker time of year. There's less daylight, an opportunity for rest. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Looking forward to it. This has been the Forging Honor podcast. Music and production is by Elliot George. For more information about what we do or to learn how to get involved, visit our website at forginghonor.com. There you'll find information about our community, the Forge, and how to join other young men seeking to glorify God in thought, word, and deed. You'll also find blog articles, book recommendations, and more ways to grow as a Christian man.
If you enjoyed the show, please tell a friend or family member about Forging Honor. We would also appreciate it if you would take a moment to like and subscribe. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, a rating and review only takes a moment, and it goes a long way towards growing the Forging Honor community.
Thanks for taking the time with us today. We hope you'll take up the work alongside us and join us in the task of Forging Honor. We'll see you next time.